Hey guys, welcome to this second lesson on Kenny Sultan's version of Long Tall Mama. We did the first one, which is actually titled Long Tall Mama. This he calls Big Bill number 1, but it is a variation on the same theme for him. We're going to run through it in the same way, look at this 12-bar blues, which Kenny calls a rag blues. He says it's been so long since he's ever listened to Long Tall Mama again that really you should just consider this an independent blues. In this 12-bar breakdown, we have some of the same themes, we have some of the same additions to the chords, and some of the same motions where an idea is played on one beat in one bar and then moved to another beat in the next bar. So I want to have a look at that and maybe run through it with the first version of Long Tall Mama again. First of all, this is one of the cool things you want to know about the blues, this little run. We've heard it before going the other way. You've heard it in different inversions. And what the idea here is we have a root and a 3 here, the C and its E. So that's part of a C chord. At the end of the run, we have the E and the G. That's the 3 and the 5. That 3 and 5 of the chord, you can see it in this C if you like, is approached by half steps. So whatever you think of the steps, we're going chromatically up to the 3 and 5. This would be for me a G7. This is an F and a D, chromatic motion to a C. You go backwards from this to the C chord. That was with the 5 on top and the 3 on the bottom. Those are from the C chord. That's a G and an E. If I come up here and put the E on top and the G on the bottom, I can do the same thing. So this is a C chord going down chromatically to the G7. That's a G7, a D and an F, to the C with the C and E again. I didn't know you could turn that and go the other way until I saw it in this song. So that's the first thing that's happening, it goes twice. Kenny says to play it with a finger and a thumb. Usually I play it with 2 fingers. Just like in the last version of Long Tall Mama, where they played the first bar twice, it went like this. This one basically sets up the intro the same way, does a movement twice. In the next bar, we're playing the same notes. Walk chromatically down through that E flat, that bluesy flat 3. Into a C7, again, obviously just like in the last version. I like to slide into these 5s. Always use your open note to move. I'm stuck on the 5-3, the 4, steps back up a half step to open E, which you use to move into the chord. C and B flat makes a C7, which leads you to your Fs. Again, in the last version, we had Fs with an F and a G, a 9. And that motion, we had a little pattern that started on beat 2. It went like this. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, then on beat 1. 1 and 2, and... So here we have something similar, but we don't have the G on top this time. We have the D, so it's a 6. It's the boogie note. A very bluesy activity that comes from the pentatonic major, which is just an alteration of your power chord. So we hit the F root. Again, Kenny says do your thumb. I reach with a bar. There's that E flat again. It was a flat 3 against C chords. On the F, it's a flat 7, biting into the dominant 7. I move into it. Instead of forcing a reach, I slide into it and then play these notes separately. Those very same notes last song on the C chord. That's a 3 root 6, so 6 is the boogie note. The flat 3, a bluesy note, leading chromatically up to the 3. So on a C chord, you hear it like that. Now it's on an F chord. Try logging that. Try remembering that that's a useful move for you. So you get these ideas where you can mix and match your chords and your licks. So we finished with the F there anyway. And into a C chord. So there you see the same idea, the open E to the E flat that we just saw on the F chord. And just like in the last song, we get our lick on beat 2, repeated in the next bar on beat 1. Something maybe again to log in your mind as an effective solo technique. And now it's basically identical to the last song. We're going to run chromatically off the E to E flat to D. So the 3 of the chord, the C to the E flat, the flat 3, onto the D note, which is the 5 of a G chord. The exact same intervals that we just saw going one way on a C chord. 3 to flat 3, down to the D note on a G chord. And then it goes up from a flat 3 to a 3, a B flat to a B, to the D. Then another chromatic run, the G to the G sharp to the A, which looks to me like the 5 of a D7, but in his chord charts he's got the D7 late. So I don't know what he's planning here, if he's thinking this is a 5 chord, or if it's an F7, the 3 is an F, and the E flat would make it a 7 over A, so it's an F7 over A. But there's your D7 anyway. D7 over F sharp. And what happens here is exactly like in the last version. D7 to G chord. That C note of the next bar this time is anticipated. From here on, from this C to the end, these 4 bars, 4.5 bars, are identical to what they were in the last arrangement called Long Tall Mama, except this one C note is anticipated into this bar. I've thrown a tie on it just so you'd be aware of that. So here's that bar from this A note. Now you're on your C, G7, C. So as before, let's give her a nice slow listen. 1 and 2, 3, 4. One and two, three, four.